Welcome back, fishing friends, to another adventure. I'm back out here at this little pond. Gonna throw a little bit of top water, all different kinds of stuff. We're gonna have some fun pitching things around. I'm gonna start off with a spro. What is this, a bronze-eyed frog? So we're gonna pitch this around, see what we can come up with. If you're looking for frogs, my all-time favorite frogs are gonna be the Booyah Pad Crasher, the Kalins, the Freddie B from Livingston, and then the Caperlin has got an excellent frog. I like that one because it's got like little keels on it. It is really good. A little keel, I should say. Go check out Caperlin at Eurotackle. They have a really nice frog. And then the spro one is a really nice one. River to Sea's got some good ones. Uh-oh. How does this guy get cabbage? What? Ah. Alright. Man, it's a perfect day to be out here today, too. It's a nice little frog right there. Sometimes I'll put like a little, one of those little rattles. It just depends on clarity and things like that. This is a spot where I did the video on the Rebel Catacrawler. So if you want to go back and check that one out, man, I had a lot of fun throwing that. I can see the fish all down there. I don't see any bass though. There's some good bass in here for sure. Sketchy dock, man. This thing is crazy. Look at all the bluegill come up and pop it. Sheesh. I got a little thing I can throw for the bluegill. I have to test that out. It's for bass too, but we'll get to that later. I brought it on the ultralight. Alright guys, I'm throwing this one on the Victory, St. Croix Victory 6.8. and 20. Nothing yet. Let me switch to a Lobina Lures Rico. Man, I hadn't thrown one of those in a long time. Those goofy bluegill came up to look at it. I like throwing this Rico. I've been watching these dragonflies, so they go down and they land on the water, or they, you know, they're either hunting or they're, look, some of them are mating. And so this little Rico looks like a dragonfly when it hits the water. And so they all come up to take a look at it. I love this black color, and also have kind of a gold. I can't remember what it's that one that Rick Clun likes. It's like maybe a perch colored gold with like some red on it. So I've reeled this in the different ways that Rick talks about, Rick Clun. Where he knew that old boy that would just reel it in. Then sometimes how they just pop it, stop. That's the kind I like to do. A couple of pops, then I kill it. A couple of pops, then kill it. But I've been working on that one where that dude was just cast it out there and just reeled it in really fast. Oops, got a little bit of cabbage here. So I found that kind of interesting when he talked about that. You'll have to go back on like YouTube and look up the interview he does about it. Yeah, I love throwing this thing. All right. We're going to throw this around for a while. Ooh. It's a carp. I was looking down, it looks like a gigantor bass, but it's a carp. All right, guys, check it out on the Lobina Lures Rico. Alright, let's get him up and in. I gotta get across this sketchy dock here. Alright, there he is. Not a very big guy, but he was fun to catch. There you go, buddy. Zoom. There she goes. Alright, there it is, the Rico. Okay, guys, listen. I don't do anything conventional. I'm throwing this on spinning gear. I do have my bait casters. I just didn't bring them on this trip. But I did hear that Luz is coming out with this Speed Spool RX. It's going to have that cool braking system that I like. So I'm excited about that. Alright, so we got one. If you've never thrown these, Rico's, I mean, they're pricey. What are they, like 20 something dollars? But man, they're worth it. I got a couple other ones in there. I've got the old style pop art. I love collecting poppers. And I've got some bombers. Technically they're saltwater, but man, they work for bass. So in that technique, I was just doing the crank and pause, crank and pause. I spared you guys me doing the one that the dude fishing with Rick Clun was doing, where he was just speeding it through kind of like this. I mean, it works. It'll attract a heck of a lot of attention, especially if we got with pike in here. Cast a Country Mile. Just a great product. Alright guys, we're hooked up on the Lobina lures on the Rico. What is it? I thought it was a crappie, big bass. No, check this out. This is either a warmouth, green sunfish, or a pumpkin seed. Well, he just went up there and just whacked it. Check that out. Alright guys, there he is. Check that out. That's a cool looking fish right there. It's either a green sunfish or one of the warmouths. There you go, buddy. Boom. That's good stuff. Alright, we're going to switch to a different one and see how that's going to play out. We're going to switch to the bomber. Okay guys, so bomber makes some saltwater poppers, and they have some that they call AW, all water poppers. So, and they work really well. And I love the color on them. The key to a popper is that red or orange cupped mouth, and some kind of red on the bottom, white, orange. I love throwing this one because it's silver. And of course that tail. I've got a Livingston Lures one that I throw that doesn't have anything on the tail, a feather, and I catch them on that too, so it doesn't have to have that. The tail's kind of cool because with these dragonflies, it makes them think, hey, there's something up there, or a fish is trying to get it and having trouble, and he'll get all of them. So I love collecting poppers. The the Bill Lewis Spitfire. They don't make it anymore. I got a bunch of those. I love throwing those. There you can see it. All the panfish come up. Take a peek at it. Yeah, it's a good popper too. I mean, they all are. I haven't ever come across any that are just terrible. I mean, I think one time on Temu I got a couple of ones that were like 50 cents, and you know, they were horrible. So I don't know, I gave them to somebody, or I know I got rid of them. Oh! He followed it. He's still there. He's not very big. It's a bass. 2 bass. 3 bass. 4. Man, they just came out of the woodwork. I don't know if you can see them down there. Boy, they came out from all around that mat stuff right there. Let me run this through here again. Oh, dang, I got cabbage on here. Oh, there we go. Nope. Isn't that how it always works out? Hey, I got it off. When you see something, you're ready to do something with the fish, and then something happens, like you got a kink in the line. Of course, they all skedaddled. Okay, guys, the good thing about this bomber is it's tail weighted nice. So if you can see out there, the red cup mouth is sticking almost straight up. So when you pop this, you can almost keep it in place. So like if you want to get it into like a back corner or something. Ooh, I got one following. There's a bass right there. Do you see him? He's not very big. He's going to check it out. He didn't like it. I hopped it over that piece of algae. Still got a little bit of it. So I know a couple of guys that put extra weight on the back end of this. It's almost like that that boy howdy with no blades or no spins on it. It sits almost like this, and when you pop it, it pretty much stays in the same place. Oh, I picked up a piece of cabbage. I was running along those mats over there to see if a bass or pike would come out and crush it. No dice along that shade line over there. It's not hot, it's a beautiful day, so there's a, I mean, it's not like the water temp is super boiling. Water temp is mid to low 70s. Yeah, last time I was here, I had a pike come out from under one of the mats and just destroy that little cata crawler. That was fun. See, the cool thing with this, I can just essentially leave it in the same place and just twitch it, you know, because of how much it's weighted in the tail. But I know for the pike, I'm going to have this thing moving a heck of a lot faster. Something about that movement just drives them crazy. The thing is, do I want to catch a pike and risk losing the bomber? Alright guys, we're about to switch over to some little ultralight stuff. I've been throwing this quite a while. We can always come back to throw the popper again. Got a couple other ones in there. I had one thump right into that pocket over there, and I know it was a bluegill. He was just nipping at the tail feather there. See how they come up and just like nip at it? Ooh. He almost got caught. Alright. Maybe one more cast over here through this little section here. See if Mr. Pike is hanging out back there. Okay guys, for crappie and for panfish, I've been testing out these heinies from Arky. They have the teeny heiny, they've got the pro heiny, I think it's the big heiny. I just call them heinies. It's got some nice glitter on there. I mean, it's just a little hair jig with some, what do they call that around the collar? Not hackle. Some may have hackle on there. Anyway, when I was tying mine, I refused to put it on there. What do they call that goofball stuff on the collar? Anyway, but it works for other people who make them, because when I do it, it comes out terrible is what I'm trying to get at. So these are great for catching crappie, panfish, bass. I've got it rigged on a little beetle spin, jig spinner. Oh yeah, it looks good in the water. But of course, guess what? I've got cabbage. The other thing I'll do on this is I'll put a little bit of Procure on there. Ooh. And it'll leave a scent trail going through. And that is epic when it does that. Oh, who is that following? It's that goofball Pike. He came out of there. Oh. Yeah, no, I gotta change work on my bearings in here. That goofball, I know it was a pike because it's that telltale silhouette. He just came out there and then he went into the deeper water. Yeah, you can hear my bearings grinding. I just got to take it apart and put some, I call it farm oil, that we use for all kinds of stuff around the farm. Boy, he came up and popped. Did you see that? And of course I get caught in the stinking cabbage. Alright, even though he wasn't hooked, we can definitely say that this works. Now all the bass that came firing out from under there, I'm trying to get them to come out again, like that pike came out. The size of that pike. Holy cow. There's no way this line could hold him. Uh-oh, I got him. I got him. And he's too dang big. What am I, that dumb? Oh, he let go. Did you see that? Let me get something else. Oh. I don't have a net to land that guy. This is a grub. Holy cow. What in the, right off the bat, is that him? No, it's a big bass. Holy cow. First pitch in with the grub. I was looking for that big pike. And this guy came up and just hammered it. Ooh. Look at the size of this guy. Holy cow. Man, look at this dude. Ugh. Check out that guy. Man, that's a nice fish. There you go, buddy. Oops. Ooh, my knees, the sketchy dock. Telling you guys, grubs get the job done. Now, where in the heck did that big dude go? Man, if I catch him, I'm gonna have to let him wear out. The problem was, I was so dumb to throw that light line, and he went under the dock. He was gonna saw me off. What the heck? I don't know that there was pike that big in here. I don't know where he went. He went off that way. Check out the grub. Everything's wanting to check it out. Ooh, there's a little bass. It's one of these mega bass spinners. And I put the grub on there. Guys, I'm like, I don't want to say I'm shaking, but man, that pike was huge. He would have hit this thing for sure. I don't know where he went. There's no telling. So I was standing here getting cabbage off the little spinner, and I looked down. I was like, man, is that a big carp? And this is the funny thing. There was there was a little bluegill nipping at his tail. Like he was trying to... Oh, there's a big bass right there. That could have been my PB Pike. 36 and a half. That was a big old boy. No net. I would have had to beach him up into here and just grab him and bring him up. I don't think I'll find him again. When I first cast out there, I thought that was him because bam! The grub just got whacked. Probably should have had like a Senko or someone. I don't really fish with Senkos anymore. I've got them with me, but I'm telling you guys, nobody's safe with that big old boy swimming around. Jeez Louise. You know what, guys? It's in our nature to want to catch something, you know, throw it out there. When I saw that giant pike, I just had to throw that out there. I was so dumb. There was no way I was going to land him. With those sharp teeth, he would have cut that line. But I don't know how that hook came out. I had him hooked. He was started to swim under the dock here, and I was like, what? Then for sure I was going to lose him, and then he spit the hook. There's no way I could have handed the pole to myself under there. So, I made a bad choice. But it was cool to see him go after it. He was just too dang big. And if I would have had this set up, I would have been fine. And then, I thought I did hook him because the line went bananas as soon as the grub hit the water. So I've been pitching around and looking for him. I don't see him anywhere. Oh, for crying out loud. Man. When you know there's big ones lurking in there. I gotta restring or respool this. I gotta clean my guides too. That's the other thing I need to do. I try to do that every few weeks, is to clean the guides, but I gotta restring this one. I had some kind of a wacky... You think about it on a spinning reel, a bird's nest? Well, that's what happened. The line got caught on itself, and poof, a big wad came out, and I was like, what? I've never had that happen before with sunline. Nope, I'm not switching from sunline. I'm always going to use it. Alright. So, I want to go back to throwing that hiney, but I just wanted to get in some casts to see if I could coax that dude out from wherever he went. He went straight up and to the left over there. And so I've been throwing. It took me a minute to realize that I had this other rod rigged up. And then I saw the grub, and I was like, oh man, he'll hit that. This has got one of these little spinners on it. In the video I did the other day, I catch a nice bass on it. And Kalins, man, they're grubs. In my opinion, you can't beat them. Those and the Mr. Twisters. Keeping this thing ready in case that bar, he was like a barge, comes through. I mean, he didn't even hesitate. He went straight for that thing and bam! Oh! Dang, I felt the thump and there was nothing there. I keep looking for him and I don't see him. And you think a fish that big, and this water isn't really, right where he went through is only about 3 feet deep. So even as titanic as they are, they can still get into semi-shallow water or shallow water. Alright guys, I gotta sit here and evaluate things. So that's why I use 20-pound braid to 20-pound fluoro for pike like that. And I've caught a ton of pike in the 30-inch range, 20-inch range, and the fluoro will hold up. The braid will even hold up. I just put a long enough leader, but I've had them where they got really wrapped up. But this thing, I might have been in some serious trouble there. I don't know how that little jig spinner came out. He went under the dock and I was about to let all my line out, and then I would have had to like fight him. There's no way I could have put the rod through there. It was just, I made a mistake doing that. Ooh, there's a nice little bass right there. So I threw he's looking for, and of course I've got a kinked tip. Crying out loud, why do I get this in here? I threw that grub for a while, and then I put on a Mr. Twister mag 12-inch buzz. Now I've got on just a little Maxcent worm. Everybody's trying to eat it because it stinks. Look at that. You can tell that Maxcent works. Everyone's trying to eat it. Come on, I need that bass. Anyway, so it was just, he swam past it. You putz. It's a feeding frenzy. Boy, if that doesn't tell you Maxcent works, because I've been throwing all kinds of stuff down there, and they didn't swarm it like they swarmed this thing and actually tried to run with it. Anyway, so first of all, it was just pure instinct, sportsman, whatever, just to pitch. Oh, there goes that bass. Just to pitch for that big. Dang, I can't see him anymore. To pitch for that big pike, I just had to do it. The thing is, I should have grabbed the grub. Oh man, I'm gonna be telling all my cousins and my dad and my brothers. They grab the tail of it, but they don't get the head of it in. See, he's got the whole thing in there. Let's see if I can just pull him out. Nope. Anyway, guys, I was shaking after that. I just keep playing in my mind. Ew. All right, let's get back to the hiney. I'll throw this, I'm gonna keep this handy just in case. Ooh. Guys, I'm telling you, don't get old and don't get chubby. I used to say don't get fat, but I've lost so much weight. because man, it's heck on your knees. All right, let's get the hiney back out there. All right, guys, I'm still throwing this. Well, I went back to throwing this arky little hiney jig on a little jig spinner. So I put Procure on there. That was the other thing, is I just put Procure on there when that big pike went under. Why did he have to swim under the dock? See, he was over there when he hit it. And he just saw it and swam. The vision was just, I mean, in this clear water, I mean, he was on it. Bang. I checked to see if the line was frayed. Nope. So when he got it, it must have been like dental floss in between his teeth. I know that sounds dumb, but I know he had it. He went under the dock. Now how in the heck did it come out? Did he just spit it out? He would have bent that hook for sure. I mean, it's just a little ultralight. I mean, it's a decent hook, don't get me wrong, for like crappie, bass, and panfish, but not for a monster like that. And this is the thing. That thing could have easily have eaten some of the big bass that are in here. I mean, that dude, I mean, he could have just inhaled a 15-inch bass like it was nothing, a 16, 17-inch. Oops. Man, this reel is getting worse and worse. Do you hear it squeaking and squawking? I just got to take it apart and use the old farm oil on it. The thing is, it's kind of like a lucky reel, and so I get superstitious about stuff like that, if that makes sense. We're going to add a little bit more Procure, pitch this around, and then we're going to throw that Max Scent hitworm. It's that Max hitworm, the big worm, the mega or whatever they call it. All right, guys, I thought it was a crappie, but on the hiney, it's this little bluegill. Like over there by the patch of algae, then he came back over and then through. Hey, he's not bad. Yeah, this is a legit bluegill right here. That's not bad size right there. No, it looks like one of these green sunfish. Look at the tips on it. Yeah. Alright, the key was I put a little bit of Procure on there. You can kind of still see it with the silver. What do they call that? Man, I can't even think of that. Silly. Oh, it's going to drive me nuts all day. I tie those and I refuse to use it. Not bunting. Dang it. Anyway, so I put the Procure on there because it gets buried in there and it worked out great. Ooh! I saw one flare out at it. He didn't get it. What the heck? Man. Chenille, that's what that stupid thing is called. I never put that in anything. Maybe once I tried it. I think that's it, chenille. I put that on, I put the Procure on there, and it gets buried all caught up in there. Look at that guy, he's chasing it. God, what? He thumped it, but he didn't get it. What they pick at it because the procure's on there. Look at it now. Now he's interested in it because the other ones are poking on it. Now he's having second thoughts. Here comes a little bass. Do you see him? Look at that little bass. Now he's kind of freaked out by it. What is going on here? Guys, you just never know with fish. You just never know. There we go, guys. Dang it, I thought it was a crappie and it was a... I don't mind catching him. Ooh, look at that bass right there, following him, seeing what's going on. What in the heck am I getting sniped on my back by a... Ooh. By a mosquito or what? Ooh, this is a nice bluegill right here. No? It's one of these green sunfish or warmouth. Check that out. Yeah, green sunfish it looks like. Good stuff. Alright guys, so let me show you what I'm throwing here. This is a Jean LaRue biffle bug, but now Yum calls it something else. I turned it sideways and it looks just like a tail. Or you can do it traditionally and have it do its thing, but look at that. I got these bluegill chasing, but it moves just like a tail. And I just ring it, you know, so it's up and down vertically like a fish's tail. I made some videos on that before. So we're going to pitch this around and see if we can entice anything. This is on a jackhammer stealth blade. I'll break the shine ones out a little bit later, but this little guy here can catch crappie, bass, and pike, in case that big one's lurking around. So I love throwing this. It's a lot of fun to pitch around. So way back, I don't know, it was like February or maybe it was before Christmas, I was experimenting with different trailers. The one I like now is the Berkeley Power Stinger, then this one. Lake Fork's got a nice one, they're a little flipper. But you just got to play with them and see. This one, this biffle bug, displaces water in such a cool way. So the other thing I like to do on these is put just like a straight tail, like a robo worm or a exo stick. The Biospawn exo stick, I'll cut a little piece off and put it on there. Everything follows this. It's such a cool bait. Man, how come the bass aren't just over here on this stretch through here, just not crushing everything? I threw that little Maxent hitworm through there. All I was getting was bluegill poking at it. Had a couple bass over here, those little dinky ones by the mats that would come out and just look at it. Ooh, yeah, this thing is clutch right here. Yeah, guys, and the other thing is, this is one of these jackhammer minis right here. People are complaining about this, that, and the other. To me, they fish fine. I don't have any issues with them. But yeah, they're expensive, but you gotta remember they gotta split the cost between Evergreen and Z-Man. I'm about to switch to that big beast of a... It's one I throw back home in Texas. Of course, I fell for all the publicity of that bubblegum color flush from 6 Cents. But on mine, I put it on a white, old school chatterbait. And I throw it that way. I know they make the pink jackhammers, but I went with this one, and just for the contrast, and it looks good. All right, guys, there it is. Now, this isn't the big 7-inch plus flush that 6 Cents has got. This one's the 5.25, I think is what it is. But man, and the gut in there, I loaded that up with Procure. So it's just oozing with it. But this is a pretty good size bait. I've got bass on this back home. Should I run trench 1, trench 2? I think I'm going to run the main stretch here. This thing's going to leave a trail of scent. So I crank, stop. Crank, stop. So this one's got wings on it, so it'll come up to the surface when you're cranking, so you got to kind of... If you want it to stay down, crank slower. If you want it to come up, man, look at the tail action on that thing. That great contrast right there is just awesome. All right, let's run this for a while. Alright guys, it's going to wrap it up for me for today. I had a lot of fun out here throwing different stuff. The top water, that little high knee from Arky, and then getting all tangled up with that big pike. It was just a lot. It was a lot of fun today. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me, and until next time, I will see you then. Bye-bye. Alright guys, I just shot the ending for the video, and I'm huffing and puffing. I climbed up out of that spot there walking through the forest, and it dawned on me, I can come back each morning or evening and wait for that sucker to swim by. I can bring my giant net, have 3 or 4 poles rigged with different stuff. I can bring live bait like chubs. So now everything's starting to run wild in my brain about how I can catch that fish. So definitely got to do some strategizing, because I've never seen a fish that big here in Iowa in person. For a pike, anyway. Pike are my favorite fish to catch. And I know I fish for bass all the time, make bass videos, but it's just because growing up as a kid, you know, I love catching pike. Trail goes that way and goes down there. All right, guys. Hey, until next time, I'll see you then. Thanks for hanging out with me and listening to my crazy thoughts about that pike. Now get out there and get your lures wet.